No doubt. And then let's talk Rangers. Rangers have signed a shirt sponsor deal for next season worth almost double the existing deal. How important is this for the club to keep increasing commercial revenue, especially when the results aren't necessarily reaching what the fans are expecting?
Look, it's absolutely crucial that they try and increase their revenue, but let's not get carried away. I always worry when clubs start saying it's a 93% increase over last year rather than actually giving the numbers. It normally means that the number isn't that big. And I think in this case, from the research I've been able to do, we're looking at something that could be maybe a 3 or 4 million pound transaction, which is not in the scheme of things that big. It's probably big for Rangers, and I listen. Anybody that can double a sponsorship, that's great. But doubling, 1 million up to 2 million isn't the same as taking it up to 40 million. So let's be clear about this, the scale that we're looking at. But it's absolutely crucial for Rangers right now. Every pound has to be a prisoner, and they have to do what they can. And I've been talking for weeks about how Rangers have to reset and take time to try and rebuild the club. There's been the new interim chairman coming in this week, John Gilligan. There's a lot of infighting with Dave King. It's a civil war right now, and it needs to reset itself and support the manager on the pitch. And any pennies he can get should go on the football side, and that's something that they've got to do. They're back at Ibrox for the last game, it was quite funny in the sense that the game they won at Ibrox meant they have to go to Hampden again to play in the semi-final. So that was quite strange, and one of those quirks of football. But nevertheless, look, Rangers have got some issues right now, and as you say, and the things we just talked about, other clubs coming up behind them. It's going to be an interesting season as to where that all pans out.
For sure. And for a club like Rangers or any club in a rebuild, how can they continue to increase commercial revenue while maybe not making the Champions League group stage or maybe not thriving in the league, but also trying to kind of make that rebuild happen and needing that commercial revenue to do it?
Well, I've talked about this before with other Premier League clubs right now. Rangers have always had a global network of fan bases. The Scottish diaspora around the world is something that they've worked on, but it needs to be refreshed, and they've got to work much more on that international fan base. And they've got to work on the product on the pitch as well, and they've got to show some unity. It needs a leader off the pitch right now at the chairman level, at the board level, to try and re-energise everybody about the Rangers brand, giving a way forward, having the rallying cry to really show that there's a plan, and coming out with some fighting talk rather than just the infighting we're seeing. So it's going to need that sort of new plan. It's going to need that to be presented properly. They're going to need to re-energise their whole global fan base and really get them behind something to move forward for. It's a big job. I know they're looking for a new CEO, and I wish him the best of luck because that's a tough job to do.
No doubt. Well, Keith, thanks so much as always.
Thanks, Will, and looking forward to next week. It's going to be another great week in football.